my name is Eileen Zanarios from Flex Counseling and Wellness. These video yoga courses are intended for you to enjoy yoga in the comfort of your own home, at your own pace. As always, with any physical activity, make sure that your doctor approves you for physical activity, such as yoga, stretching, and that sort of thing. If you're not sure, ask. These classes are designed with a trauma-informed approach, which means that I will provide several suggestions for you, and it will be up to you to decide what works for you and your body. So we'll begin by getting onto our knees on our mat, bringing the big toes to touch, sitting back towards the heels and stretching our arms forward into a child's pose. Now many of us can reach our forehead to the mat and rest the forehead on the mat gently, allowing the body to soften into a child's pose. If you're finding that that feels a little bit far away, you can take your foam block and you can place your forehead on the block, either on a lower setting or even up a little higher. So it all depends on what works for your body. And once we begin to settle into our child's pose, we'll start to tune into our breath. To start, begin to notice your breath. Notice the air as it filters in to your lungs and out. At this point, we're not trying to change anything about our breath. We're just simply knowing and noticing how we are showing up today, right here, right now. As you continue to breathe, you might notice your body feeling a little bit heavier, a little bit more grounded, softening and sinking in towards the mat. I'll take a few moments to talk about the style of breathing that many find useful in yoga practice, and that's Ujjayi breathing. And the idea of that breath is that we slightly constrict the back of our throat, kind of adding a little bit of sound to the breath. Grounding into our five senses is a way to become mindful and tuned into the present moment. And when we use Ujjayi breathing, we add the sound to the breath, which provides us with an anchor. We mentally anchor onto the inhales and the exhales. So we can do a few practice breaths with Ujjayi breathing. To start, stretch the back of your throat just a little bit, and if you're not sure what that means, it's kind of like making your breath sound like Darth Vader, or perhaps pretending like you're going to fog up a mirror. So as you breathe in through your nose, you constrict the throat just a little bit to add some sound to that breath. And as you exhale, same thing. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Deep breath in. Long, slow breath out. As you begin to notice your breath and maybe attach some sound to the breath, you might notice that it's allowing you to feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more centered. That being said, if you're finding that concentrating on the breath is a little bit challenging for you today, just let it go and breathe in a way that it feels natural to you. No worries. Nothing about this should feel forced. These are just some different techniques that might help you to feel more present, more grounded, and more centered.
In yoga, we often breathe in and out of our nose. However, if you're feeling a little bit strained or maybe even a little bit anxious by your practice, you can always open the mouth and take a long exhale, releasing all the air through the mouth. It is best to breathe in through the nose if you can. Although, once again, if it doesn't work for you, just let it go and do what works for you. Now that we've grounded in our child's pose, we're going to begin some gentle spinal stretches. So first we'll come up onto our all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And hips width is just about 2 fists between the knees. And you can even measure, if you'd like, 2 fists. A lot of us kind of think of hips width as wider, but for this we want a neutral hip. So we just want 2 fists between the knees. Hands feeling nice and steady and sturdy. If you have wrist pain or challenges, you may find that this is a little difficult. And if that's the case, you might come on to fists and keep the wrists nice and strong. You might explore some different postures with your wrists. If none of that works, everything we do on all fours can actually be done in a seated position. So to start, we'll come into some cat and cow poses. These allow our spine to begin to get some movement. So to begin, we'll drop our belly, drop our chest, stretch our hips up towards the ceiling. And this is like a cow, if you can imagine a cow that has a really big sway back, and we'll allow the shoulder blades to kiss together on the back, and we'll turn our gaze forward and maybe even up to the sky. It's up to you depending on your level of flexibility. And as we do this cow pose, we take a deep breath in. And then we begin to round our back slowly, once again being mindful of the spine, tucking the pelvis, tucking the chin, rounding the back like a cat, especially one of those Halloween cats that's up on the fence, the black cat with its back arched. And then our next inhale, we'll drop our belly, drop our chest, look forward and up. And then exhale, round the back, pelvis in, chin in. Inhale, cat, cow, oops. Exhale, round. Inhale. And exhale. One more deep breath in. And long breath out. And then we'll come back to a nice strong tabletop posture, which is all fours. Slightly bringing the belly button in towards the spine to keep that core engaged for the entire practice. Next, we'll begin to stretch our legs. So we'll take our right foot towards the back of our mat, toes planted, and press the heel further back. And holding the stretch, we'll just breathe. One more deep breath in. And on your exhale, take your knee back to the mat. And then we'll take the left leg straight out, planting the left toes and pressing that left heel towards the back of the mat. Just getting that stretch in the calf and the back of the left leg. And we breathe. One more deep breath in. And as we exhale, take the left knee to the mat. And from here, we'll come into a few more cat and cow stretches just on our own pace to loosen up the spine once again. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. And take a moment to pause in your tabletop posture. Or maybe return back to a child's pose and take a few breaths, resting on the mat. So allow your fingers to spread wide. And invite your body to become heavier and heavier with each exhale. Invite the jaw to soften. Maybe invite the teeth to separate if you hold tension in your jaw. Begin your yoga breathing, your Ujjayi breathing. And that's slightly constricting the back of the throat. Allowing the inhales to come in through the nose, deep into the belly. And then a little press on the exhale as you allow the air to come out of the lungs. Once again, constricting the back of the throat. Sometimes I like to think of the yoga breathing, the Ujjayi breathing, like attaching the sound of the ocean waves to the breath. As the waves crash on the shore, they make that rhythmic sound. If you notice your mind's wandering, maybe to that to-do list or your next work task you have due, just invite the mind to come back to the breath. Just for right now, just for your yoga practice. All of your to-do lists will be there when you're done. Allow your practice to be the time where you center into the present moment. Allow everything to drop away. And then slowly bring yourself up to an all fours posture. We'll do a little bit of core work here to get started. So we'll start by taking the right toes to the mat and kind of stretching our right leg out. Heel comes towards the back, getting a nice stretch in the back of our leg. And you can stay right here if you'd like. If you want to add a little bit of core work to this, take your left fingertips, stretch them forward like you're going to shake someone's hand. And you could stay here, or you can start to lift the right leg up. Keeping the foot flexed, toes are going to point down towards the floor, belly button tucks in, and we'll breathe.
more deep breath in. Slowly take hand and knee down to mat. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out. And then take the left toes to the mat, stretching that left leg back. Once again, you can stay right here. Take your right arm forward like you're going to shake someone's hand. And if you want the extra challenge, you'll allow those left toes to lift up. Kind of pretend like you're stepping on the back wall. So really strong back leg. And pretend like you're reaching because you can't quite get to that person who's reaching out to shake your hand. So we're finding some length. And one more deep breath in. Exhale, hand and knee to the mat. Once again, a cleansing breath. In and out. Hands come a little bit forward. We'll tuck the toes under and make our way to our downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Deep breath in. And long breath out. So beginning on our knees in our child's pose, we'll sit back towards our heels. Inviting the forehead down, either resting on a block or resting on the ground. Arms can stretch forward, fingertips spread wide, palms on the mat. As another option, you can reach back towards your heels and kind of tuck in. And just invite your body to settle on the mat. Feeling the gravity, feeling the ground beneath your body. And as you shift away from whatever you were doing before, now you're shifting into your yoga mindset, the present moment, anchoring the mind on the breath, allowing the thoughts to float on by. If you're feeling any tension in your body, invite it to soften and melt away. And when you're ready, begin to make your way up to an all-fours posture and find a comfortable seated position. So you may cross your legs if it feels right. If that does not feel right, you can find a different way to sit. Sometimes people like to sit on a foam block or grab a blanket. These nice yoga blankets can be great to just place underneath between your seat and your mat to allow for a little bit more comfort. We're going to do some neck and gentle shoulder stretches to begin our practice. So to start, find a long spine. Invite the heart to open, shoulder blades to kiss together on the back ever so gently. Chin is tucked in a little bit. Just find some breaths with this posture. And then we'll begin making some circles with our shoulders. Your circles can be as large or as small as feels good in your body today. And then you'll switch directions with your circles. Notice if you're feeling tension and just invite that tension comfortable centered posture. We're going to slowly take our right ear towards our right shoulder, just very gentle. Inviting the left side of the neck to open, allowing the body to open. Notice if you're clenching your jaw. It's a common place for us to hold on to tension and stress. Just invite that jaw to soften. And then slowly bring the head back through center. And then take the left ear towards the left shoulder, allowing the right side of the neck to open. So in our yoga practice, we want our bodies to just open naturally and gently. So no forcing, just allow the neck to open as much as it works. And that might feel like just a little bit of movement for you, or it might feel like a lot. There's no right or wrong. Slowly bring the head back through center. And next, this next stretch is helpful if you have a strap, which I do, or if you have a hand towel. Something, you could even use, I don't know, a shirt or a hoodie or something if you want to. All we're trying to do is get some length between our hands, so something to grab onto. So we're going to take the strap into our right hand, stretch our right arm up towards the sky, and then bend the elbow, and then left hand reaches back and grabs for the stretching item. So again, you could see, it could be a towel, could be a hoodie, could be a strap, whatever you have. And we'll just rest here. Allowing the back of the arm to open and the heart to open. If anyone sits a lot, in their job, in a desk, or in a car, we kind of hunch forward, and that can really bring a lot of tension into our neck and our upper back area. So this stretch kind of counteracts that. So it might feel a little uncomfortable for you at first, because your shoulders and your back might be used to rounding the other way. If you're holding onto the steering wheel or typing on a keyboard. This is one of those stretches I recommend doing often, depending on what your job is. You might even want to do this stretch like every day. It's easy, it doesn't take too long. We're going to slowly allow our bind to unwind and start to make some circles with the shoulders again. You might feel that blood flowing back in where it was constricted. Switch hands. Take the left arm up to the sky, bend the elbow, and reach back. And this one too, you may notice that your left arm feels a lot different than your right arm. So throughout our day, we tend to do more things with our dominant hand. And so our tightness may not be evenly distributed in our body. Just inviting the mind to the breath, feeling that tension leave the body. If you notice thoughts come up, just allow them to come on up and then float on by. No forcing, just allowing. And we'll slowly release. Unwrap our legs, and we'll find some windshield washers with our legs. Our knees go side to side like a set of windshield washers. Starting to open in the hips a little bit. And then from here, we're gonna make our way to our downward facing dog. So finding an all fours posture. That wasn't me, that was just the block. Hands come forward, toes tuck under, and we find our inverted V, stretching into our downward facing dog. Cut. So we'll make our way onto our back, feet planted, knees up. And we'll begin with some gentle stretches, moving the knees side to side. Windshield washer with the knees. And we'll begin to come into some gentle core exercises. And so depending on your body, you may modify. You can do just a few, you can do more. Whatever's gonna work for you. We'll start with some very gentle bicycle movements. So we'll begin by taking both knees in and placing our hands on our knees. Kind of lace our fingers together behind our head, kind of lift up just a little bit, and then we'll take right elbow to left knee and left elbow to right knee. And we'll just alternate kicking those legs forward, moving slowly. And again, if you are just working on building your strength, you might do just 3 of these and then come back to rest on your back. Otherwise, we'll just do a few, just kind of waking up those core muscles a little bit, getting some strength in. Keeping a strong core can be very beneficial for a lot of things, including your back health, and just so many things. If you lift things, all of that, having a strong core is really going to be key to keeping your body free from injury. And then when you've completed your bicycle stretching, invite the feet back to the floor, invite the head back to the floor. Arms can tee out, shoulders, and you'll go ahead and do some more windshield washers side to side. And then you can take both knees and hug them in towards the belly, and maybe make some circles on the ceiling with your knees if you'd like. Switch directions. Giving one more big squeeze. Take both knees to the right. Stretch the gaze to the left. Twist. Then take both knees to the left, gaze to the right. Twist. And then both knees come back through center. And we'll find our final resting posture, which might be Shavasana or corpse pose, where you just allow each leg to straighten out towards each corner of the mat. Tuck the shoulder blades under the back to support your body. Resting the head on the mat, tucking the chin slightly. If laying flat on your back doesn't work for you, you can just plant your feet about mat's width apart, bending the knees, and then tip the knees in like a pyramid. And that's going to feel better for some of our lower back. If you have kind of any issues with that lower back and just laying straight flat on your back doesn't feel good, you can try this. This might feel better. And then invite yourself to just melt into the mat, melt into the ground, and rest in your Shavasana. Begin to invite some gentle movement into your fingers and your toes. Perhaps you turn your head from one side to the next, beginning to reconnect with movement. Taking one knee and then the other in towards the belly. Give yourself a squeeze and then roll to one side, using your arm to support your head. Yoga fetal position. Rest here on your side. And as we conclude practice, take a moment to just be right here, right now. And then using your arms to support yourself, come back up to a seated, cross-legged position. And take a moment to stretch the spine, crown of the head comes up towards the ceiling. Allow the hands to rest together in front of the heart. And take a moment to set an intention for yourself. And maybe take a moment to find gratitude. Maybe send some thoughts to someone that you know who needs some positive inspiration or intention. And then taking thumb knuckles up to the forehead center, we share a word that means the light in me sees and honors the light in you. That word is namaste. And so we conclude. Namaste. If you have any questions throughout your practice, feel free to reach out through the Flex Counseling and Wellness website.